1800 hours Pakistan Standard Time. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Aisha Nayab. First, the headlines. Prime Minister has urged international community to fulfill its collective responsibility to avert grave humanitarian crisis in Afghanistan. Foreign Minister has expressed the confidence that Triyoka Plus's engagement with the new Afghan government will help consolidate peace, stability and promote sustainable economic development in Afghanistan. Advisor on Parliamentary Affairs has urged the opposition parties and other stakeholders to avoid politicizing government's reforms agenda. Special Envoy of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation on Jammu and Kashmir says his visit to Pakistan was aimed at observing the on-ground reality of humanitarian issues in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. Iranian Foreign Minister says his country is ready to achieve good agreement on its nuclear issue during the upcoming Vienna talks. Pakistan takes on Australia at Dubai in the second semi-final of ICC T20 Cricket World Cup today. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Imran Khan has urged international community to fulfill its collective responsibility to avert a grave humanitarian crisis confronting people of Afghanistan. In a tweet today, he said Pakistan has always stood with the Afghan people in their hour of need. The Prime Minister said, "We have assured Afghan Acting Foreign Minister Amir Khan Muttaqi and his delegation that we will provide all possible humanitarian aid to Afghanistan." He said, "We are sending essential food items, emergency medical supplies and winter shelters to provide immediate relief to Afghan people." The Prime Minister said, "We will also provide free COVID-19 vaccines to all Afghans travelling across the border into Pakistan." Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi says engagement with Afghanistan will not only continue but should be enhanced for multiple reasons. Addressing a Triyoka Plus meeting in Islamabad today, he said nobody wishes to see a relapse into civil war. No one wants an economic collapse that will spur instability. Everyone wants terrorist elements operating inside Afghanistan to be tackled effectively, and we all want to prevent a new refugee crisis. The minister said all of us have common concerns related to Afghanistan and also have a shared interest in the country's peace and stability. And to bring that about is a shared responsibility. Shah Mahmood Qureshi expressed confidence that Triyoka Plus's engagement with the new Afghan government will help consolidate peace and stability, promote sustainable economic development, and help constrict space for terrorist outfits operating from and within Afghanistan. National Security Advisor Moeed Yusuf says abandoning Afghanistan again by international community will be a mistake. He was talking to a four-member U.S. delegation headed by Minority Staff Director, Senate Foreign Relations Committee Chris Socha in Islamabad. The National Security Advisor said the world needs to constructively engage the Afghan Taliban in order to prevent governance collapse and avert another refugee crisis. He said Pakistan is coordinating with the world to have a stable and peaceful Afghanistan. Both sides discussed the situation of Afghanistan along with the ways to enhance cooperation in light of the regional and international developments and challenges. Minister for Information and Broadcasting Chaudhry Fawad Hussain says the present government is determined to giving vote rights to overseas Pakistanis. In a meeting with PTI Denmark President Chaudhry Imran Mehboob, the minister said Pakistan's embassies abroad are striving to facilitate Pakistani expat who played crucial role in economic development. Both the leaders discussed different matters pertaining to current political situation in Afghanistan and issues of overseas Pakistanis. Speaking on the occasion, PTI Denmark President said Prime Minister Imran Khan is a popular leader among the expats living in the United States and Europe. He said overseas Pakistanis are confident of socio-economic development in Pakistan under the leadership of Prime Minister Imran Khan. Advisor on Parliamentary Affairs Babar Awan has urged the opposition parties and other stakeholders to avoid politicizing government's reforms agenda. Talking to media in Islamabad today, he said legislation introduced by the government in Parliament is based on the principle of national interest and public welfare. The advisor made it clear that the government has no covert agenda in the legislation that it aimed at getting passed from joint sitting of the Parliament. Saudi Arabia says it will release the payment to Pakistan under the pledged financial assistance soon. In an exclusive interview with APP, Saudi Ambassador Nawaf bin Saad Al Maliki said an MOU will be signed in a few days for the payment and also for the deferred oil payment. Ambassador Al Maliki said the government of Saudi Arabia considers Pakistan as a country with a very deep and strong relationship. He said Saudi Arabia always stood with Pakistan and extended support to it on multiple occasions, as relationship with Pakistan is regardless of any government in power. The Saudi ambassador mentioned the camaraderie between the Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman and Prime Minister Imran Khan and expressed confidence that the relationship would strengthen in the future. This is Radio Pakistan. Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi has urged the international community to come forward to stop ongoing serious human rights violations in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir and save the oppressed Kashmiris from tyranny of Indian occupation forces. He was addressing the joint press conference along with OIC's Special Envoy on Jammu and Kashmir, Yusuf Al-Dubai, in Islamabad this evening. The foreign minister said continuous Indian aggression and barbarism in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir has inflicted heavy loss on the economy of innocent Kashmiris. He said due to Indian illegal steps of 5th August 2019, Kashmiri people have suffered huge economic loss as it destroyed their tourism as well. Reaffirming Pakistan's support to Kashmiri struggle, he said visit of OIC's Special Envoy will help raise voice of innocent Kashmiri people at world's major forums. Speaking on the occasion, the OIC Special Envoy on Jammu and Kashmir said his visit is aimed at observing ground reality of humanitarian issues in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. The final report will be presented to the OIC's Foreign Ministers meeting to be held in March next year. Special Envoy of Organization of Islamic Cooperation on Jammu and Kashmir, Yusuf Al-Dubai, and Assistant Secretary General Humanitarian Affairs Tariq Ali Bakhyat visited Muzaffarabad along with a high-level delegation including senior diplomats from brotherly countries including Saudi Arabia, Morocco, Sudan and Maldives. The delegation also visited Tota refugee camp where they were briefed on elaborate measures taken for socio-economic well-being of the inhabitants who fled from Indian atrocities in illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. The delegates visited a vocational training center and interacted with the refugees. Later, the delegation met a UN military observer group in India and Pakistan where they were apprised on security monitoring mechanism along line of control. During the visit, the delegation also met the President and Prime Minister of Azad Kashmir. In Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, Indian troops in their fresh act of state terrorism martyred one more Kashmiri youth in Kulagam district. The troops martyred the youth during a cordon and search operation in Chavalagam area of the district. The troops resorted to indiscriminate firing during the operation. The situation in Kulagam remains highly tense after the killing of the youth. Iranian Foreign Minister Hossein Amir Abdullahian has said that his country is ready to achieve a good agreement on its nuclear issue during the upcoming Vienna talks. In a statement, he urged all parties engaged in the talks to re-embrace their nuclear commitments. The Vienna talks aimed at the revival of the Iranian nuclear program are set to resume on 29th of this month. In the second semi-final of ICC T20 Cricket World Cup, Pakistan will take on Australia at Dubai today. The match will start at 7 p.m. Pakistan Standard Time. And now the weather report. Mainly dry weather is likely to prevail in most parts of the country during the next 12 hours. Now some of the headlines once again. Prime Minister has urged international community to fulfill its collective responsibility to avert a grave humanitarian crisis in Afghanistan. Advisor on Parliamentary Affairs has urged the opposition parties and other stakeholders to avoid politicizing government's reforms agenda. And that is the end of the news. For more news and analysis, log on to our website radio.gov.pk and also watch live video streaming of our bulletin on the link facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official.